Hi, this is Dennis again. Um, Coming back to you with the continuation of the instruction or the introduction to your radios, the Retevis, Baofeng, or whatever other radio that has this particular name brand on it, that it's made by Baofeng. But anyway, today we're just going to refer to this as Baofeng or our Retevis, being that we have the Retevis box here and it's easy. And most of the radios that are going out now are Retevis. I've stopped using the Baofeng because I've got better prices that I can bring you, so I can give it to you and keep it at $15 a radio. Anyway, here we go. Number one, I want to start out with some options that your radio has, and then I'll get into some of the accessories you can get for your radio. So let's get right into the radio, and I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to set it on either channel 1 to 5, and this gives you an option, and we'll turn it on. Well, we'll put it on channel 1 here and hold in the top orange button and the push to talk button. Push that in and turn it on. On. Power on. Okay. 1. What she's saying is in Chinese, but it sounds like English somewhat, is Vox on. Vox on is turning the Vox option on your radio on. So that means you don't have to push your push to talk button to talk into it. I can have it here right now and it's far enough away from my mouth, it's not going to pick it up. But it works great with some other options that I'm going to show you later. And if you just happen to be somewhere got a broken arm and you can't push it, and you can get just enough to turn that on and lay your face up against it and you can talk into your radio, that's an option for you. Anyway, we want to turn the Vox option back off. We don't want the Vox option on. We had some incident that happened during our test the other week, and somebody had their Vox on and was having quite a problem. But we got it fixed. We got it figured out. Okay, top orange button, push to talk button. Turn it back on. Off. Power on. 1. Okay, power on 1, and the Vox is back off. Let's turn the power back off, and we're going to set this again at from channel 5. Let's go, or 1 to 5. Let's go to channel 10. See if I got close there. I can't read it, but it does say on top, if you look at the radio and if you have decent enough eyes and it's bright enough, you can see the channel numbers. This will tell you, this is the voice prompt option. Power on. 10. Okay, it's on 10. Let's turn it back off again. If I do the same process, hold the top orange button, push the talk button, turn it on. Off. It's off now. So when I put it, this is the voice prompt. So when I change channels, all you're going to hear is a beep. And that's all you'll hear. So you'll have to be able to see these numbers to know what channel you're on from that point on. Me, I'll stick with the voice prompt. Let's put that back on. The opposite, do the same process. Hold it on, turn it on 10. Power on. 10. Okay, being that it said power on, it says that the voice prompt is now working again. And that's where we want it. For the last option that you have like this, if you turn your radio all the way to channel 16 and do the same thing. Off. Power on. 16. Evidently what I had is it was already preset and it turned it off. What this option is the scan option for your radio. Let's turn it off and let's turn the power off and let's turn that option back on. On. Power on. 16. Okay, channel 16 puts your radio in the scan mode. Your radio is programmed for your frequency, for your channel, for the state channel, and for the repeater channel. So if you're in the 5th ward, you're going to be scanning channel 5, channel 9, which is a state presidency channel, and channel 16, which is actually the Highland Stake repeater. But if you're having a hard time getting through, if you're on the far end of the stake, or the weather's real bad and you can't get through, put it on 15, hit their repeater, and you get through on that frequency, but you'll have to relay your message through them and they'll get it to us. Okay, so you'll see at this point, you'll see a little light blinking there. Let me see if I can get it for you. There you go. That little light indicates that it's blinking, that it's scanning. Okay, and when something comes on any of those three channels and you want to respond to that, or you just want to hear it or whatever, you just leave it on there and it will pick up that channel and stay on that channel until there is no more carrier on the channel, then, or carrier by meaning there's no more voice or no more noise or anything else that might be coming across that channel, and it'll let it start scanning again. You don't want that on all the time unless you do want it on all the time. If you want it all the time, but the one thing you have to remember, you have to keep it on channel 16. If you take it off channel 16, it's going to end up taking off, it's going to take off that scan option. And to return it on, you have to go through the process again of putting it on, turning your radio off, putting it on channel 16, and so forth. There's one more option that these radios have, and what it is, it's called a scramble or a beat shift. Now, got to put a disclaimer in on this. This is illegal in the United States. If you use a scrambler or using a ciphertext or a cipher system that scrambles your channel, you're not supposed to use that. But these radios do come with them, and I'm only showing you the capability of your radio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on because I set this radio up for channel 15 as a scramble channel. Okay, these two channels are on 15. So when I talk into this one, after I turn it on, okay, a little brain fade there, but it comes in and out. We'll see how this works this time. Okay, test 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test 1. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. When you're on a radio that doesn't have the scramble on it, this is what you're going to hear.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you understand me?
Can you understand me? This is the scramble option. And unfortunately, there's something going on that frequency, and either that or somebody's trying to jam me right now. So,
this is Dennis, and I'm talking to you through the scramble channel.
Now you put that on, that is what the other people are going to hear, okay? They will not be able to understand you. They will be able to hear you and understand you. But there's another option that you can be programmed into the radios is, even though they can hear you, they cannot transmit and it will not get into your radio. Okay, these are CTCSS, they're subaudible tones. If you send out the subaudible tone to the other person that's got that tone on their radio, you can talk to them on the correct frequency, of course. And here's what it would, and if I have one that is set up correctly, make sure I didn't turn it back off again. Test. Test 1, 2. Okay, now here's where it sounds like if the radio has the scramble programmed into it. These two radios that I'm talking on right now have the scramble
programmed into it.
Power on. 15.
This radio is on.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2.
You might be able to hear it through the other radio here. Sorry about that.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Now, if I try to talk through this radio,
Power on. 15.
test 1, 2, 3. Test. Test 1, 2, 3. It will not come through your radio if you have your subaudible tone set correctly. Okay, let's go through something else that's fairly simple. I don't know, I don't remember. It's been at least 2 or 3 minutes now, so I'm not sure what track I'm on. But I don't think I covered the stuff that's on my chest. But before I do, you'll notice I've got a few radios here. This is not exactly the same kind of radio, but I'm just wanting to show you the different types of antennas that you can buy for the radio. The most effective ones, of course, are the bigger and longer ones. This is a expandable, you can see just like the old 1960s, 1970s extendable antennas for your car. It's the same thing. It works for your radio. You can plug it into your radio and it will give you extra range and it will give you extra receive power also. The longer your antenna basically is your general rule. Now, one thing else about this antenna, looked like I just broke it. Well, it didn't. I can lay the radio down and have the antenna up like this. So just to let you know, I didn't just break it. Thank goodness. They're not that expensive. This antenna works the same basically as this antenna. This is a stock antenna that comes with your radio. Here's a smaller one. Now you'll notice I have that one on my chest. Now for a tactical radio or for something I'm hunting or something like that, I want that. I don't want this thing sticking me in my neck or when I'm turning around or I want to shoot or do whatever I want to do if I'm hunting. I don't want it poking me in the chest. You can put it down lower and use one of these. You can use something else I'm going to show you in a little bit. But this will get you the same range as this antenna. This antenna will get you a little bit further and it will receive a little bit better. This antenna I had on my radio and I was listening to some people training dogs, and you know where we are. We're over on the east end of the lake. Well, I heard them out there under the power lines on the far side of the lake training their dogs. I gave them a call and I talked to them and asked them where they were located, and that's a good, well, as the crow flies, what are you talking, 6 miles, 8, maybe 10? Well, I've talked all the way to Payson using this little antenna. It's nice, it's flexible, it's not going to hurt you, it's not going to poke you. This is another one. It's a small antenna, a little stubby. All right, it will give you the same range, the same functionality, and it's just a tad bit shorter, but it is solid. Okay, that's one thing about it. Now, there's another antenna that's available, which is a long wire type of antenna. Well, it's not really a long wire. A long wire, if we were using this frequency in the old Army days, that long wire can stretch you out 200-300 feet. But this is just a longer antenna. This was homemade, and it was made by the Boy Scouts from the, I believe it was from the Highland Stake. They were making a bunch of these up, and so they made these available. But again, this will get you a little bit further, but if you're getting your contacts where you want, do you really want that thing sticking up from your chest or up from wherever? I have them mainly because I wanted to test all of these antennas to make sure they worked and they functioned like they were supposed to. All of them did. The best antenna for the money, if you bought these in quantity now, if there's a whole bunch of people that want them, just let me know and I can go ahead and order them. I believe these are about $9.99, which is $10 on Amazon.com. But if you buy them in quantity, you can get them for about $3.50 a piece. So if you buy 10 or more, you find some people that want them, get yourselves together or get with me and I'll get a whole bunch of them like that if you want this type of antenna. I'm not recommending any certain type of antenna. I'm only letting you know what's out there, okay? I want to get some of these out of the way here so I can show you the next thing. Okay, you've probably been looking at this. Oh, forgot. Got one more antenna to show you. This one, though, you need an adapter for. The adapter is going to cost you right at $10. It seems like everything for these radios are $10. The microphone that I have right here, about $10. They were selling them for about $6, but now I'm seeing them from $10 to $15. Okay, what this is an adapter. This side of the adapter is, and the radio takes, is called an SMA, okay? An SMA. And it screws right into your radio. Okay, there's a little easier way to do it than sitting there, and that's in all the way. Okay, what this will do is set you up to where you can use an antenna like this one. This is a J-pole, and you can get these online for about $20. Or you can get some more expensive 2-meter 440 antennas all the way from $10 to $200. Depends on what you want to spend and what you want to use it for. If you're going to use it in a car, which I do use mine in a car, you can get what's called a mag mount. They run you about $12. And you take the other end of that, which is a PL259 type connector on most of those radios, screw it on here, and you will increase your range drastically. Okay, this will double your range using, because you have what's called a ground plane. The ground plane will be the metal on top of your vehicle. All right, we got the antennas taken care of. Now you're probably looking at my chest and saying, what is this? You got all this stuff hanging off all over you. Yes, I do. And it's a lot more comfortable than having it sticking you in the side and poking you. It depends. You can take this particular rig, the carrying case, it hooks on this way. You can set it so it's over your back. You can set it on your backpack, or you can take and put it on as a belt. So it can be used many different ways. All right, and this is just standard radio with one of those type of antennas on it. So it's very flexible. You can use it for a lot of things. When I go to the field, this is what I take with me. When there's an event or something, or there's a cert type of a thing with me, I take this with me because I never know what I'm going to have on, not know if I'm going to have a pack on, and you can shift this from side to side, out of the way, up or down, hang it over one side all the way down and carry it like a man purse if you're a guy, or a purse if you're not a guy. Or should I just say other? This is a mic, and it goes in, plugs in to the side of your radio. You're facing your radio, you pull this little thing out, and you've got your two little prongs and two little jacks in there, and that's where these go. You plug it in like this, and you can use your remote mic. Be advised, when you plug these in, make sure they go all the way in. It'll click sometimes, but it's not all the way in. Give it a good little squeeze once it gets in there to make sure you're making good contact. They don't always have the best of jacks in these radios to where you push it in lightly and it takes. No, give it a good little shove. Another thing that I have for you is more on the tactical end of things, or if you're hunting, or if you're in a very noisy environment. It's called a throat mic. Why do they call it a throat mic? Gee, I wonder. Okay, they just pulled it out of the air. It's hooked to your throat. Okay, we got that. Your speaker goes in around the back of your ear, on around, and then you can look like one of the Secret Service agents that run around with these things sticking in their ear. Gee, you can never tell they're an agent because they don't have things sticking in their ear, right? But anyway, you do. With it comes a push button. And you can take that push button and you can stick it. Well, it's got Velcro on it, so you can just about stick it anywhere. You push it and you talk. But what's nice about this and what's not nice about nylon type things is it runs. But if I stuck it on here, I could stick it on the front of yeah, it works every time except for right now. Okay, I could stick it on the front and it'll stay there, and if I want to talk, I push the button. This will plug into this radio just like the other one did on the side. Stick it in the side, give it a good little push in there, and set your radio to Vox. Then when you talk, it automatically goes out. And if you're in a range or you're working around like inside a gun range, okay, we'll just say a gun range, it won't pick up the gun range, it won't pick up the gunfire unless you have your mouth open like that, and all the sound goes in there, and then it'll key it. But I don't know many people that are wanting to suck in a whole bunch of the gun smoke. So that's some of the options that you have. There are more options out there. There are over the ears that have they're like ear muffs. They cover your ears for ear protection. It has a mic that comes over the front. These are really more for tactical use, just like this is closer to a tactical use than they are for just general use. But if you're at a firing range and you don't want to put any earplugs, I've got sensitive ears, even though I wear hearing aids, which you can see aren't in. But because I'm talking, I'm not listening. Okay, now don't tell Kathy that I don't have them in today because she'll think I'm listening. But anyway, you put them on, it covers the sound out, and your microphone, you push to talk, and you're talking. It's got they've got things like this on it also that you push to talk. But it keeps out the external noise so that you can shoot and you can do whatever you want, or wherever you are. Maybe you're in the middle of a herd of cattle and you don't want to be heard and they're all mooing. So I think that's all I've got for you today. These are the radios we're talking about. This, the Baofeng, and what was the other? QIT, Pofeng. And so these are the radios I am referring to. All of these attachments and everything will also work with the Baofeng UV5R. These radios will not give you any more range. These are ham type radios. These are not ham radios, and these are not programmed to ham frequencies. This radio you can program to these frequencies, also to ham frequencies, and can be used as scanners for sheriff's frequencies or emergency services. These are, of course, twice the price. But for bang for the buck, this is a good way to go if you want to be able to contact they have the same power, the same wattage, they just don't have the same frequency ranges. And for the money, I use these. One reason I use these, I can't say it. Anyway, thanks for watching me again, putting up with all my silliness, and being able to introduce you to some of the other maybe finer aspects of your radio. This is Dennis. I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching. Hit the button and I'm gone.